Iran will face the consequences for its actions. We will choose our response accordingly. The IDF remains ready to counter any threat from Iran and its terror proxies,
Since late 2023 until April 2024, Israel has repeatedly attacked the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria, which has infuriated Iran and led to a severe retaliatory strike. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the most powerful branch of the Iranian military, launched over 300 drones and missiles at Israel. These attacks specifically targeted military bases without hitting residential areas, claiming to precisely destroy Israeli defenses and focusing on areas housing the F-35 fighter jets, which were reportedly used in the attacks that killed their top general in Damascus. Following the release of hundreds of explosive drones and missiles, the Iranian envoy to the United Nations stated that the issue was resolved and their revenge was complete. Major General Mohammad Bagheri, the chief of staff of the Iranian armed forces, mentioned on state-owned TV that they had also warned the United States about targeting U.S. bases in the Middle East should they support Israel in any retaliatory actions. It's well known that the U.S. maintains military facilities throughout the 6 Gulf Arab states, including in Syria, Iraq, and Jordan. On another front, Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian reportedly told the U.S. that the attacks on Israel would be limited and purely defensive in nature. The reason the United States is involved in this Iran-Israel conflict is that the U.S. has been assisting Israel in neutralizing the Iranian drones and missiles targeting its ally. Israeli authorities reported that about 360 munitions were fired by Iran, consisting of 170 explosive drones, 30 cruise missiles, and 120 ballistic missiles. However, Israel claimed that the damage from the Iranian attack was minimal, mainly because the United States successfully intercepted nearly all of the Iranian drones and missiles. The U.S. proudly stated that this overwhelming response serves as proof that the military capabilities of Israel and its allies far exceed those of Iran. Iran's counterattack marks the beginning of an open war between the two countries. Though known as bitter enemies, until now they have restrained themselves, engaging in a hesitant and shadowy war, their conflicts intermittently emerging and receding based on the shifting sands of geopolitical conditions. The animosity between these two nations is a major source of instability in the Middle East. For Iran, Israel has no right to exist. The Iranian leadership refers to Israel as the Little Satan, a close ally of what they call the Great Satan, the United States. Iran wishes for both to be eradicated from the Middle East. On the other hand, Israel accuses Iran of funding terrorist groups and launching attacks motivated by the anti-Jewish sentiment of the Ayatollahs. The victory of the Islamic Revolution in 1979 marked the beginning of hostilities between Iran and Israel. A defining characteristic of the Iranian Islamic Revolution was its rejection of American imperialism and its allies. Iran projects itself as a pan-Islamic force, championing the Palestinian struggle against Israel, which has been abandoned by the Arab Muslim nations. The rivalry between these two archenemies has resulted in numerous casualties, often due to covert operations not acknowledged by either government. The war in Gaza has only exacerbated the situation. Ali Vaez, the Iran program director at the International Crisis Group, points out that Iran feels isolated as a Persian and Shia nation in a region dominated by Sunni Arabs. In response to threats, Iran has constructed a network of allies who conduct armed actions to protect its interests, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, which has been designated a terrorist organization by the US and the European Union. This group, along with other entities, forms a resistance axis operating across several countries. Meanwhile, Israel has been actively trying to curtail Iran's nuclear program, which they suspect has military intentions, including through cyber attacks like the Stuxnet virus that damaged Iran's nuclear facilities in the early 2000s. The indirect confrontations between Israel and Iran, often referred to as a shadow war, unfold through attacks in third countries and acts of sabotage. The conflict continues in Syria, where Iran supports the regime of Bashar al-Assad with money, weapons, and training, while Israel strives to block Iranian arms shipments to Hezbollah through Syria. In 2021, tensions escalated with mutual accusations between Iran and Israel concerning attacks on ships in regional waters. Concerns about an open conflict increased following an attack by Hamas on Israel in October 2023 and Israel's military response against Gaza, which could potentially trigger broader reactions across the Middle East, including direct clashes between Israel and Iran-backed militias at the Lebanon border and the West Bank. Recent events have shown attacks on the Iranian consulate in Damascus that killed several Iranian officers, including a commander of the Quds force, marking a significant escalation in the conflict. What intrigues many is whether Israel will retaliate further, and whether the United States would dare to start a war with Iran. It's not unreasonable for people to warn of the potential outbreak of World War III. Especially since both countries, Iran and Israel, are considered comparable in terms of military strengths.
The historical timeline of the Israel-Iran conflict is filled with twists and turns. Back in 1948, when Israel first proclaimed its independence, Iran was right beside them as a great partner in numerous strategic projects and economic endeavors. From the year 1948 to 1978, Iran even positioned itself as Israel's largest oil and weapons buyer. Their relationship was nothing short of romantic. However, a major shift came about in 1979, when the Iranian Pahlavi dynasty monarchy crumbled due to the Iranian Revolution. From being an empire under the leadership of Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, Iran transformed into the Islamic Republic, with Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini emerging as the nation's first supreme leader. It was under Khomeini's influence that the ideals of opposing both America and Israel began to take root in Iran. He went to lengths describing the United States as the big devil and Israel as the little devil that ought to be confronted. It was during Khomeini's reign that Iran's trajectory took a sharp turn. What started as a friendly relationship with Israel morphed into staunch support for Palestine. Iran didn't mince words when warning Israel against any misadventures with Palestine. From that pivotal year of 1979, the once cozy relationship between Israel and Iran took a cold turn. However, both nations have constantly exhibited restraint from going into full-blown warfare for a multitude of reasons. One of the primary reasons for Israel's hesitancy is the nuclear arsenal that Iran possesses. Conversely, Iran has also treaded cautiously, knowing all too well that Israel has the direct backing of the nuclear-armed United States. In this tumultuous landscape, both Israel and Iran have emerged and remained as two potent entities in the Middle East. When juxtaposing their military prowess, each displays its unique strengths. Starting with the military personnel from both nations at present, Israel has fewer personnel in comparison to Iran. On paper, Israel maintains a force of 646,000 personnel in total. This comprises 173,000 active duty personnel, 465,000 in the reserves, and 8,000 paramilitary staff. On the other hand, Iran's forces boast a total of 1,015,000 personnel, split between 575,000 active duty members, 350,000 reserves, and a whopping 90,000 in the paramilitary. However, while Israel might fall short in personnel numbers, they clearly lead when it comes to military funding. Astonishingly, Israel invests a staggering $16.5 billion in its defense, whereas Iran allocates around $7.4 billion. Crunching the numbers means Israel spends roughly double what Iran does on its military. With a higher military expenditure, Israel sits closely with Iran in Middle Eastern military power rankings, as noted on the Global Firepower website. Switching gears from personnel and finances to weaponry, in terms of ground weapons, Israel lags behind Iran in sheer numbers. Based on available data on tanks, armored vehicles, artillery launchers, and rocket launchers, Israel is outnumbered. However, quantity isn't everything. Israel flaunts its technological edge by producing advanced main battle tanks. Their most cutting-edge tank is the newly versioned Merkava, aptly named Barak. This tank is equipped with the Iron Vision helmet, providing a 360-degree view for the crew commander and feeding various critical information, including incoming threats. To counter attacks, the Barak is fortified with the Trophy system, an interceptive system designed to neutralize enemy ammunition threats. In contrast, Iran's most modern tank, the Karar, is essentially an upgrade of the T-72 originating from the Soviet Union era. When it comes to naval forces, both Iran and Israel showcase similar profiles. Given that both countries predominantly feature desert terrains, their naval strength isn't particularly pronounced. Yet if we were to scrutinize the numbers, Israel still has an edge over Iran. But diving deeper, it's evident that Iran possesses a greater number of attack vessels like frigates and submarines. In the sky, Israel demonstrates its superiority. When comparing jets, specialized mission aircraft, and helicopters, Israel soars ahead. In this intricate dance of power and strategy, both nations showcase their unique strengths and approaches. Israel doesn't only lead in the number of jets, but also in the capability of the most advanced jets they possess. Currently, Israel employs the F-35 Lightning II, a product of the United States, as their primary jet fighter. This fighter jet boasts remarkable abilities and can serve various roles, from stealth and air superiority roles to an attack fighter role. The versatility of the F-35 indeed makes it a pinnacle of 5th-generation fighter jets. In contrast, Iran's most advanced jet is the Mikoyan MiG-29, which has been in use since 1991. Observing Iran's deficiency in this sector, the country has planned to purchase the Su-35 from Russia, which is considered a strong rival to the F-35. It is estimated that Iran will buy 24 units of the Su-35, with an expected operational start by the end of 2023. Beyond conventional military hardware, modern military strength also considers the roles of drones and missiles. As witnessed in conflicts like the one between Ukraine and Russia, drone and missile attacks have become pivotal for battlefield dominance. When comparing Israel and Iran, the drones and missiles each nation employs play significant roles, given their continuous advancement in this sector. For Israel, the drone in active use is the Heron, a multi-mission drone suitable for both reconnaissance and attack. In flight, the Heron can achieve speeds up to 253 miles per hour, cover a range of up to 4,598 miles, and fly for 30 hours non-stop. In its assault mode, the Heron can carry up to 2.7 tons of ammunition. One of its primary weapons is the Spike missile, an Israeli-made anti-tank missile. On the Iranian side, their main drone is the Mohajer-10, primarily an attack drone. Its capabilities, when compared to the Heron, are somewhat limited. It can only reach speeds up to 130 miles per hour, cover a distance of 1,243 miles, and has an operational time of 24 hours. Although it's designed as an attack drone, its payload capacity is limited to 661 pounds. However, it can carry a variety of ammunition such as the Almas missile, the Guillaume bomb, and the Arman-1 gliding bomb. Additionally, Iran has showcased concepts of the Sofre Mahi, a drone they're developing as a stealth reconnaissance and attack drone. Regarding missiles, both nations have an array of deadly arsenals. Israel's Jericho missile, a long-range ballistic missile, has a range of 4,039 miles and can travel at speeds of 4,601 miles per hour. This missile carries a warhead weighing 1,653 pounds. In comparison, Iran counters with its K-bar missile. Though its range is limited to 1,553 miles and has a speed of 3,838 miles per hour, it can carry a warhead weighing up to 3,306 pounds. Moreover, Iran has showcased the Fatah missile. Its range is about 870 miles, but it boasts a staggering speed of 11,510 miles per hour, making it challenging to detect. Given the historical tensions and conflicts between Israel and groups like Hamas, Iran's role has been significant. Amid these conflicts, there's the presence of Hezbollah, which is associated with Iran continuously targeting Israel. If tensions persist, a direct conflict between the two nations isn't out of the question.
Can Iran launch a direct assault on Israel? Let's delve into this. There are several scenarios in which Iran might resort to direct attacks. However, before any direct confrontation, proxy warfare seems to be the most plausible choice for Iran. Undeniably, Iran has been engaging in this strategy for a considerable time. Within the Middle East, Iran has a network of proxy forces operating in countries like Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, Gaza, and Bahrain. Militant groups in these nations receive training, weaponry, and financial support from Iran. Taking the situation in Gaza as an illustration, Iran doesn't conceal its financial and arms support to Hamas. Moreover, Iran's assistance to Hamas continues in the form of intelligence and incitement within networks against Israel, yet Iran consistently denies any responsibility for the attacks carried out by Hamas. Another instance includes the Shia militias in Iraq and Syria responsible for assaults on United States military bases. In these events, the United States accuses Iran of actively facilitating rocket and drone attacks by proxy groups against its forces in Iraq and Syria. Again, such claims have been repeatedly denied by Iran. While it's challenging to ascertain Iran's direct military involvement with rebel groups in the Middle East, politically, Iran indeed backs entities like Hamas, the Hezbollah movement in Lebanon, and Shia factions in Iraq. Nevertheless, Iran staunchly denies accusations of providing military support to these groups. Assuming for a moment that Iran's involvement aligns with the claims made by Israel and the United States, it suggests that Iran's proxy warfare tactics have been successful. Why? Because to date, Iran has endeavored to counter Israel through proxies, establishing Hezbollah in Lebanon, supplying Hamas and other Palestinian groups combating Israel with weapons, missiles, and explosives, has produced results. Both Hamas and Hezbollah have inflicted significant damage in Israel without triggering a direct conflict with Iran. Should proxy warfare fall short of its intended goals, a strategy Iran might consider is launching a direct assault. Since Iran and Israel don't share a border, an aerial strike becomes a viable option. Iran could orchestrate such a strike using kamikaze drones. Within their arsenal, Iran boasts the domestically produced Shaded 136. This ammunition is crafted to target ground-based objectives from a distance and can be fired in significant quantities. The Shaded 136 can achieve speeds greater than 115 miles per hour. Its range is estimated to vary from around 602 miles to roughly 1,553 miles, with a payload ranging between 66 pounds to 110 pounds. Considering that the distance between Iran and Israel is approximately 1,110 miles, theoretically, the Shaded 136 could reach Israel in roughly 5 hours. But does this Iranian drone have experience in striking critical military assets? The answer is affirmative. The Shaded 136 has been used in the Yemeni civil war and the Russian conflict in Ukraine. The United States military also suggests that groups aligned with Iran utilize the shaded 136 when targeting its bases in Syria. Furthermore, the shaded 136 has been deployed by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in the Kurdistan region of Iraq. Besides the shaded 136, Iran could also deploy another kamikaze drone, the Arash-2, which has an attack range of about 1,242 miles. Another option would be Iran's newly launched combat drone in 2023, the Mohajer-10. This sophisticated drone boasts an operational range of approximately 1,242 miles and can remain airborne for 24 hours, flying at speeds of 130 miles per hour at an altitude of about 23,000 feet. The payload of the Mohajer-10 significantly outweighs that of the shaded 136, coming in at around 661 pounds, double that of the Mohajer-6 drone. Such a heavy payload can decimate large ships or strategic targets with tremendous force, though, by sheer calculations, these drones could fly from Iran to Israel. In reality, it's challenging for Iranian drones to directly strike Israeli territory. The reason? The United States maintains military bases equipped with robust aerial defense systems, especially in countries like Iraq and Syria. Here, drones would need to navigate territories controlled by the U.S. en route to Israel. In other words, before reaching Israeli skies, Iranian missiles would first have to penetrate the American aerial defense mechanisms. Thus, stealth fighter jets offer an alternative to drones for piercing American defenses. While much of Iran's air fleet consists of older and outdated equipment, they possess a domestically manufactured fighter jet named Qaher 313. This jet is purportedly equipped with fifth-generation stealth technology, making it challenging to be detected by aerial defense systems. Iran has claimed that its Qaher 313 jet can reach top speeds of up to 932 miles per hour, has a range of 1,242 miles, and can fly at altitudes up to 49,213 feet. Moreover, this aircraft can be armed with a variety of Iranian-made air-to-air missiles and precision-guided bombs. However, a potential threat to the Qaher 313 comes from early warning aircraft equipped with AWACS radar systems. Such aircraft aid fighter jets in long-range target tracking and confirmation. Subsequently, BVR missiles using their onboard radars can track and potentially overcome even stealth-class aircraft. Israel has developed the ELW-2090 early warning and air control radar system to counter stealth fighter jets that might penetrate its airspace. Assuming that in a direct confrontation, Iran would face significant challenges against the air defense systems of Israel and its ally, the United States, the next logical step for Iran might be missile strikes. Iran has successfully developed missiles capable of potentially delivering nuclear warheads anywhere in the Middle East, and even striking parts of Europe. Iran has also honed cruise and ballistic missiles for conventional warfare. Regarding Iran's ballistic missile arsenal, it primarily consists of short to medium-range missiles, though some long-range missiles are believed to be under development. Iran boasts of its Khorramshahr-4, an upgraded version of the Iranian Khorramshahr ballistic missile. This missile was tested in May 2023, achieving a range of 1,242 miles and can carry a warhead weighing 3,307 pounds. With such a range, the Khorramshahr-4 can easily target military bases of both Israel and the U.S. in the Middle East. In its armory, Iran also has the hypersonic Fatah missile, claimed to be capable of penetrating Israeli defense systems. Theoretically, the Fatah can strike targets in Israel in less than 7 minutes, leaving minimal time for detection and interception. Furthermore, Iran has successfully developed a new cruise missile named Pave. It's claimed that this missile has a range of approximately 1,025 miles, making Israeli or American targets within its striking distance. Iran also possesses the Meshkat missile, reportedly having a range exceeding that of the Pave cruise missile, approximately 1,242 miles, making Israeli targets easily reachable. Given Iran's missile capabilities, it stands as a profound threat to Israel's security. However, it's essential to recognize that Israel boasts a multi-tiered air defense system prepared to counter the threats posed by Iran. First on the list is Israel's David Sling, designed to intercept enemy aircraft, drones, tactical ballistic missiles, medium to long-range rockets, and cruise missiles fired from distances of 25 to 186 miles. David Sling was first employed in a combat scenario in 2018. As a result, 2 ballistic missiles failed to cross the border, landing just 0.62 miles inside Syrian territory. In May 2023, David Sling successfully shot down a rocket launched from the Gaza Strip targeting Tel Aviv. Another missile defense system in Israel's arsenal is the Arrow 3. This anti-ballistic missile can intercept and simultaneously destroy over 5 ballistic missiles within a brief span of 30 seconds. Furthermore, the Arrow 3 can be launched from a single location without waiting for the exact positioning of the targeted ballistic missile. Israel even asserts that the Arrow 3's success rate in fulfilling its duties stands at an impressive 99%. To counter hypersonic missiles, Israel relies on its air defense system named Sky Sonic, introduced in June 2023. Rafael, Israel's defense technology firm and the system's developer, claims that Skysonic can accurately identify and track threats throughout the entire flight path of hypersonic missiles up to an altitude of 229,659 feet. Regarding drone interception, as previously mentioned, drones flying from Iran would first have to navigate the American defense systems. But if they managed to get through, they would then face Israel's Drone Dome. The Drone Dome is a modular anti-drone system capable of identifying even the smallest of targets. It issues warnings and operates without interfering with non-target air assets by emitting signal disruptors, severing the drone's connection with its controller. This dome serves as an effective defense tool in heavily trafficked airspace, be it civilian or military, up to a distance of 2.17 miles and functions effectively under all weather conditions.